Because society will tell you things like, be yourself, choose your happiness, prioritize your happiness until you decide to choose somebody else now, because that is where your happiness is. Then here comes the judgment Calvary. One look and I breathe. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anita, your girl talk bestie and personal development enthusiast. Today we'll be talking about a very serious matter with a little bit of gossip on the side, so let's get into it. This is the first thing I saw when I came online this morning. It is a picture of two people who are happily in love, and apparently it's causing a little bit of a ruse on social media. In case you do not know who these two people are, let me give you a little background story. The woman in this picture is BlessingCeo, an alleged relationship therapist. Alleged because I think she needs a lot of relationship therapy, but that's by the way. The man that she is in that picture with is Aigbe, popularly known as IVD, who has allegedly by his wife. He didn't do that intentionally. It was a matter involving a series of abuse and physical, emotional violence that led to her demise. And people are angry, and you would understand why, because this is a man that ideally every woman should avoid. After all, his last wife died because he was abusing her, again, allegedly. But this woman, not this woman is obviously very happily in love and moving on with the man, which is causing a lot of anger. The point of this video is that most of this anger seems to be directed at one person alone, Blessing. But what about the man? What about the violent man who continued to abuse his wife for years until she died? What about him? There seems to be very little outrage spared for him because Blessing is taking all of it on herself, which is the point of this video. I think it's funny. No, it's not funny. It's actually sad. It's sad that we complain of society being harsh to women and judging women in nearly every circumstance in life, but when you look at a situation of a woman actually being judged, you will find out that the people at the forefront of that judgment, the judgment Calvary, who are screaming, crucify her, are women. Why do women always have so much hate to spare for other women while making excuses for men? I'll give you a good example. In the case that a marriage breaks up and both parties decide to move on, and the man decides to move on with another woman and eventually get married to her, people usually have a lot to say in those cases, especially to the woman involved. That's when you hear people make silly statements like, oh, the broom that they used to sweep away the first wife is the one that will use to sweep away the second wife, and some bullshit like that. And most time in these cases, the new wife is just a woman who aspires to live her best and unapologetic life, choosing herself and her happiness. And unfortunately, her happiness just happens to be with a man who was in a previous commitment and marriage with somebody else that did not work out, and now she has the whole world like bashing on her. I remember when Alhaji and Swiss got married in 2010, and people kept saying things like, oh, she's taking from his wife, da da da. Guys, they have been happily married for 14 years now. I don't even want to go very far. We have it like very close to home. When Mercy Johnson tied the knot with her husband in 2012, what did people not say? You're still happily married, going strong, raising a beautiful and awesome family. Or is it the case of Mercy Aigbe and Alhaji Kazeem that got married, I think, 2 years ago? What did people not say? And most of the anger was mostly directed at the poor woman who just wants to choose herself and her happiness. What is wrong with moving on, even if it involves with a man who has been in an earlier commitment with another woman? I have discovered that authenticity is the stuff that gets you hated. When people say things like, be yourself, choose your happiness, put yourself first, there's usually an unspoken rule at the end of it that says, as long as we agree. Be yourself as long as we agree. Choose your happiness as long as we are okay with it. They just don't add the ending part, but it's there. It's silent, but it is there. Let me tell you this in case you do not already know. The fastest way to die is to micromanage your life around society's idea of what a person should do and what a person should not do, especially when it applies to women. Women should do this, women should do that. Oh, this is unwomanly. Women should not be found doing this. First of all, fuck society. God punish society. If the thing that makes you happy involves something that people do not approve of or are unfamiliar with, they will hate you and they will judge you for it. But do it anyway. Like for society don't pay nobody's bills, or as the one and only mommy of Lagos would say it, who die of insults? Nobody ever die of insult. Which is why it's funny when I hear people say bullshit like, oh, I used to like him or her until they did this and that. I used to respect him or her until they did this and that. Who is your respect feeding? Is your respect feeding anybody? If you don't get the fuck out of here. They say that all is fair in love and in war, and I found it to be true. And life is very much like war. You have to wake up every day and go to war for your life, for your dreams, for your goals, for your happiness, and against society. And just like in any classic case of a war, you need courage. Lots and lots of courage. You need courage to do life. You need courage to choose yourself, to prioritize yourself, and silence all of the noise. As you go through life, I hope you always find the courage to choose yourself and prioritize the things that give you happiness, because regardless of what you do, people are going to talk. So yeah, go forth and be your courageous and unapologetic beautiful self. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. My name is Anita, and I'll see you in my next video.